Welcome back. This is going to be a pretty good video, so get your popcorn, your drinks ready, and settle down. This is going to be a nice long video. We got a lot to do, and I want to get as much of this done today as I possibly can. Let's take a look at what we got. This is my my latest shipment from Babbitt's, SuzukiPartsHouse.com. Oil pump hose. Stickers. A brand new old stock headlight bezel, rust free. An OEM carburetor gasket. Hose clamps for the oil hose. We've got the starter, the Kickstarter spring cover, brand new spring cover. We got a brand new oil pump cover. Now these, they're no longer selling them in white, which is what it was originally. They only have the gray ones, but I'm okay with that. That's going to look pretty good, I think. Later model years came in gray. We've got a screw. That's actually the screw that holds the center frame trim cover on. We've got an oil reservoir cap seal. Engine hanger bushings. We needed those. Spark plug, Suzuki genuine spark plug, which we're going to use once we get the engine fine-tuned and running right. I got 2 spare 6-volt turn signal bulbs. I got, in this little box, what is in this little box? Oh yes, I need this. Got the connecting rod end bearing. It's a small end bearing, goes into the piston. The original one was still usable, but I decided to replace it because it had been exposed to such high temperatures for so long, and I figured a new one would be better. Battery pads. These are the pads that are adhered to the battery box, and they just keep the battery in position. And oh, I got one more thing here. This is also part. Oh, this is the kickstand bumper grommet thing. It actually goes right there, so we'll put that aside. And what's this? An original Suzuki toolkit. This is the toolkit that belongs under the seat. Let's take a look at what's in there. Because the manual or the parts guy didn't really tell me. Let's see what's in here. This is what came with every brand new FZ50 from the factory. We got a Phillips screwdriver, actually probably a JIS. Got a little pair of pliers. We got a spark plug wrench. We got a wrench. We got another wrench. Now how do we turn? Oh yeah, you turn this with the 17mm wrench. How's that for high tech? This is the factory toolkit for the FZ50. It's got a 14, a 17, a 12, and a 10. Basically everything you're going to need. Oh yes, and a Phillips and flathead screwdriver. This is all part of a good restoration. You want to make sure that any accessories or tools that would have shipped with the bike when it was new are included. Now these aren't, unlike Honda tools, these don't say Suzuki on them. But these were often lost, stolen. You almost never find old bikes with the factory toolkits anymore because they're always the first thing to get lost. A lot of times people sell or trade in their bikes and they keep the tools. I did that with my Honda, believe it or not, and I resold that toolkit. But I like to have the factory tools because they are handy and they fit in the factory tool pockets, usually under the seat. And you know, you can go and buy tools for bikes, little toolkits, you know, that are meant for you know, on-the-road service, but they're usually much bigger and bulkier than the factory ones. And this has the unique status of being the factory toolkit. It would have come with it when it was new. All right, let me put this back together and we'll move on. Okay, so let's put that where it belongs, see if it fits. This is the toolkit bracket that I cleaned up. It should fit right in there. There it is. Check it out. Hey! Okay, today we got a lot of work to do. Today we're going to install our new top end. Oh yes, it's gonna happen. The first thing I need to do is I'm gonna roll this connecting rod out. I'm going to take my small end bearing, and that's going to fit right in here. But we're going to get some oil on that first. Like I said, it was out of a lot of this is done out of precaution and for my just sheer perfectionism. Take some of that shiny new 2-stroke oil, and we're going to put it into this bearing. Not a lot, you don't want to flood it out, but you just want to get it nice and lubricated. Okay, it's going to go there. We're going to take the new top end and prepare it for installation. So now is the time to remove the packing grease from the top end. So I'm going to take the piston and the cylinder bore, bring it outside. We're going to spray it down with brake cleaner, and that'll get all the grease and oil off of it, which is what the factory puts on there to prevent rust. Alright, let me go do that real quick. Alright, now that we're done with that, we need to get this piston into this bore. So what I want to do now is I want to line the bore with a nice film of oil. So I'm going to take some my 2-cycle oil. I'm going to dribble a little bit of it. You know what I should do is I should, oh, it's too much. I should have, there's a rag. I should have done this. I should have taken a, or gotten an oil can and just filled it with 2-cycle oil, you know. My little mallet. And we're going to get our second ring, get that lined up, and we're going to just tap it in just a wee bit. There we go. Now it should just drop right in there. There's a slight ledge here. We may actually have to do some machine work to this. Let's see if we can't. I got it. Okay, piston is in, but is it lined up? It is lined up. So I'm going to slide this in into position. Exhaust port down. We're going to need our base gasket first, though. Where is that? Here it is. Okay. There's our base gasket. We've got our jug and piston already in the jug. I'm going to slide that in place. I'm going to get our connecting rod into position. Alright. So I got my bearing in there, I got my piston in there, now I need my wrist pin. Got to raise that connecting rod up into position, and I can do that through here. And I'm going to line it up by eye first. Okay. And we're in. Now I'm going to drive this in a little bit more so I can get the retainer clip in there. Be careful not to scratch anything. Okay. Wrist pin is in all the way. As you go like that. Almost there. Let's try this again. Give it like a light twist. And you just ram them in. There we go. Here's one. If you forget to put these clips in, here is what's gonna happen to you. You're gonna have a bad time. This is not designed. So what'll happen is the wrist pin will drift out of position and score the shit out of your cylinder walls. Just saying, if that were to happen to you, that's what would be the result. Oh, she's smooth as glass. Hear that? It's already generating vacuum inside the block. That's cool. I'm going to give it a nice light coating of oil. Stick my finger in there a little bit just to help it seat properly. But that's muy bien. This thing's going to run, and it's going to run nice. Now we're going to get that head put on. And so I'm going to use, so I got a couple of different head gaskets I can choose from. I've got the factory style, which is a full thickness gasket. It's going to reduce the compression down to a lower amount. Or I could use this high performance thin copper gasket, which is what I'm going to use. And that goes on just like that. It's actually stamped. I believe that this raised ring goes against the cylinder head. Cylinder head is already prepped and ready to go. I already took care of this a few days ago. This is the original cylinder head. The kit does not come with a new one. And I believe it goes on like this. Like that. Yes. I'm gonna have to bolt this head down. There are no washers on these nuts. I did check. There are no washers. I'm gonna get these on there. Okay. There should be 4 of them. Now these have all been cleaned on a wire wheel. That's how I roll. Everything gets cleaned. Everything gets polished. There is no other way to do it. Really? I'm going to get these all finger tight in a crisscross pattern. Then I'm going to take my torque wrench all set up. I got to go look up the torque specs. I forgot to do that. Hold on. That's right. It was a pretty low number. It's between 6.5 to 8.5 foot-pounds of torque. Which is why I had to go out and buy another torque wrench, because this one will go as low as 5. So that's pretty damn low, if you ask me. Probably best measured in inch-pounds a little bit. I'm going to just kind of snug these up a little bit. A little bit at a time. Just get everything seated right. Okay. We're going to drive these home a little at a time. Make sure even tightening. Good. Now, unique to unique to these two-stroke engines, you've got to retorque the head every couple thousand miles. If you don't, you could have a problem. Yeah, they don't require a lot of torque. That's only like 7 foot-pounds. So let's unload the wrench and put it away. This thing should have good compression for once. Wow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She's got compression. What's left? Well, why don't we put our flywheel cover on? I'll hit these one more time. Good and tight. And there we are. Basically, all the engine work is complete. And it only took me a month or two. But the reality is a lot of this could have been done if I had ordered everything ahead of time. This is why I make sure all my major motorbike projects are done in the off-season, because I don't have to worry about, oh, I need to ride it today. You know, it's just sitting around doing nothing. I'm not going to bother with the exhaust at this point, because that wheel is coming right off again. I've got a brand new tire on its way, and I got to get that tire replaced. So I'm not going to bother wasting an exhaust gasket right now. I can't even start the engine because I'm waiting for more carburetor parts. But hey, we're almost there. So before I mount the motor, which I'm just about to do, I want to replace the these little bushings here. These are what absorb the forward to back movement of the engine. And often on bikes of this age, you know, those will disintegrate anyway, but these were accelerated by leaking oil. And these are rubber bushings that do not like oil at all. And should not be exposed to, you know, high amounts of oil like that. So we're going to just pop in new ones. These were very cheap, $4 I think for the set, and that'll solve that problem permanently. So you can see these bushings were completely destroyed. Here's the other one. It's just gone. Oh, here's the washer that fell off. I'll have to go put that back on. Whoops. Yeah. Now, one of the things I did here was I made sure to put some grease. I used silicone grease because I've had good luck with it in the engine pivot bolt. That way it won't squeak over bumps. One of the most common problems with the Honda Helix and its smaller relatives, the Elite 250 and 150 and 125, is they develop an annoying squeak while going over bumps. And that annoying squeak is caused by rust forming in the engine mounting bolt and hanger assembly. And I will tell you that at least as far as the Helix goes, it is not a quick fix. Unfortunately, when that problem occurs on a Helix, you literally have to disassemble the entire tail section of the bike and remove the engine. It's not fun. I've done this, and the result is worth it, but it is not something you want to do for fun. It sucks. Right. And of course I nicked the paint on my engine cover. I knew that would happen. Oh, I need to actually need to bolt in the shock. Don't forget about that. Gotta get that bolted in place. Suck going down the road and shock falls off. That would ruin my day. Possibly my life. Alright. Let's see how she likes being on her own 2 feet again. Oh, yeah. Alright, let's get the camera moved back. I'm going to sit on it for the first time in a while. This thing has really crappy suspension. Pump the shock up a little bit. Oh, this thing has such crappy suspension. But it is what it is. And it ain't what it ain't. Yeah. But she's on her own 2 feet. Of course, I can't kick it until I connect the brake cable, but we'll do that next. And my, is she a beautiful sight. So we got the engine installed. I've reconnected the stator. It's all done up here. I've connected the new oil line right here. The carburetor lines will be coming next. I have all the stuff for the carburetor rebuild has just arrived today, so that'll be coming up. And I had to I had to do some repairs to the directionals. That'll be in my next video. I had to rewire the entire system because there was a bad ground and some really crappy looking wiring. On this side, we've already got our new battery installed. This is a 6 volt, what's the amperage? 4 amp hour, 6 volt battery. Ready to go, fully charged. I've added a pigtail for a trickle charger and maintainer. That's sitting over there. We've got our new oil pump cover, our brake line, our starter clutch, kickstart clutch is installed. That was an easy, just reassemble it the way it was. We've got our oil pump cable connected. This thing is going to, this is pretty close to running actually. So, in our next video, we're going to talk electrical systems. We're going to do some repairs to the directionals. And then after that, we'll do the carburetor video. And hopefully by this weekend, maybe we'll do a test run. Maybe.